It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Stephen Van Meter here, calling from Arizona. Hey, I'm not a fan of the WNBA. I'm holding out for women's NFL. When will we see a full contact tackle football women's league? And if not, why not? Thanks. I'll listen for my answer on the air. Bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Adam Hunter's in studio. No Directions, the name of his stand-up album. Available Spotify and Apple Music, wherever you find finer music. Well, on subject, back in the day when I would be watching the Human Stick of Dynamite and the Slide for Life, they had a very short-lived female tackle league. And if you don't believe me, Charlie's Angels had an episode where they became football players. And only just to get them in the locker room, you know, basically with the towel, and they'd show them walk in the shower, and the door would shut perfectly right. And see that it was exciting enough just to see the towel hit the floor.
They have it now. My friend plays for one.
Oh, they do?
My friend Destiny Yarborough.
I remember
She was on the podcast. She's like, pretty girl. But she's like, just
jacked, beefy girl.
They have it. There's about like 8 cities that have it. Tackle football.
It started in the 70s. They had
it was
for
lingerie
a little
football,
bit.
right? And they really no,
it's tackle. They have.
We're
the
just talking
lingerie.
about regular football.
Yeah, it's regular. Like she fought Gabby Garcia.
I know. The really heavyweight woman fighter that we talked about a while back.
Really?
Yeah, Gabby Garcia.
Did she fight her?
Yeah.
She fought her. What happened to that fight?
She hurt her.
Really good at
she rocked
jiu-jitsu.
her, but then she lost. But then she got taken down and submitted. You know?
Yeah.
All right, Dawson, before we get into the news, try typing in Daredevil blows himself up with dynamite. See what comes up. Now, be prepared, because at some point tomorrow, I'm going to turn my phone on, and some guy's going to send me a tweet, and he's going to go, I typed in human, and then I just wrote the S, and 5 videos came up of a dude blowing. What the fuck is up?
You know, Jason almost lit up the Ultimate Fighter house.
Oh, really?
Didn't you set it on fire, remember, when you were coaching?
Sounds
And
familiar.
then your dog was there?
Oh, no! We were shooting fireworks off everywhere, and underneath the balcony below us, a firework caught the cushions on fire and started. And then I, with me and a couple other fighters, went out with water balloons and chucked it up at a thing. The dude who lived in that condo underneath came out, and we hit him in the face. Kamaru Usman hit him in the face with a water balloon.
Wow, what are you going to do?
Allegedly.
Wow.
And then he's like, I got it. And like poured out beers on this thing.
Really?
Saved the day.
I could hang with that guy.
Yeah, you could,
All right. News. What do we got?
All right. We've got a surprising twist on the ongoing debate over transgender athletes in women's sports, this time coming from none other than California Governor Gavin Newsom himself. During the debut episode of his brand new podcast, This is Gavin Newsom, which maybe you should get on, Ace. The governor sat down with conservative activist Charlie Kirk and admitted that allowing biological males to compete in women's sports is, in his words, deeply unfair.
Oh, I'm sorry. We must have a clip of that.
So like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace. That these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression.
That's your fucking
and
line.
The way that
you guys
people
make shit
talk
up
down to
fucking
vulnerable
day.
communities is an issue.
Down. All right, hold on.
I have a hard time.
Just fucking blow hard. The way that people talk down to the vulnerable, because they don't want fucking cocks and balls hurting girls in sports. That's it. I know you're worried about the way people talk down to vulnerable communities. Who the fuck are the vulnerable communities? Name them. And what are you going to do for them, bitch? So you got to listen to this again, because he does not denounce men competing against women. He does a sort of vague, you're talking about the unfairness. Yeah, it's unfair, but what's unfair? What exactly are you talking about? And Charlie Kirk says to him, why don't you just come out right now and say it? And he goes, it's unfair. But he doesn't say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's like, listen, here's how everyone's full of shit. They go, listen, I'm not anti-Semitic. I have many friends that are Jewish, but you have to understand what's being done to the Palestinians. Oh, it's always the but. You must understand, and now that's what they really think. So watch this again, and watch Gavin Newsom give a kind of vague tip of the cap to fairness, and then go into the vulnerable community and suicide and people. He talks more about the community being vulnerable and suicide and people talking down to vulnerable communities than he does about sports, women, and dudes. Just watch it again and tell me if this sounds like he's on the side of Charlie Kirk here.
It's like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate. But
like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out.
Oh, and a pause. By the way, fairness could be, that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
You go, I'm taking hormones. I identify as a woman. It's unfair to me to not to be able to compete on the women's swim team. That's a vague answer, but keep going.
Female sports.
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well. So both things I can hold in my hand.
Right. He said nothing. He says nothing. And no one fucking gives a fuck if you want to tuck or not, douche.
He said,
and yes, you have mental issues because you think you're a fucking chick and you're a dude. Yes.
It's an issue of fairness. That's easy to point out. And yet he doesn't go forward to point it out.
Right.
He actually never says
the whole
it's
premise
unfair.
of him having a podcast now, when all the things he has to do in California. So now everyone's just going to ask him about this one thing, which isn't even the biggest issue in California.
Yeah.
But you're 100% correct. He doesn't actually say. He says, "Oh well, it's fairness," and then you could say, "Well, it's not fair if they're competing against." So, there's a lot.
He's
10
an
different
active
ways.
governor, and he has enough time to put a podcast. Like what? That's
Also,
so weird.
everyone should be a little suspicious when they're like, listen, Democrats, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend like we're sane so we can get elected, and then we can do all the shit no one wants. And it's like, why do that? Why are we even going to fucking elect the people who are just pretending they're sane long enough to get elected, and then they're going to do all the shit they want and we don't want them to do? Why don't we just elect the people that weren't ever going to do it in the first place?
And so many kids are depressed. I mean, the kids are depressed.
Course,
so all of a sudden, it's like what they were saying. Well, would you rather have, what doctors were saying, would you rather have a dead daughter or a son that's, like they were
By the way,
phrasing it
that's
that way.
bullshit.
Yeah.
They fucking take statistics, they twist them. By the way, you think, how many people died during the insurrection? 0. How many do they say died? Lots of people died during the. They fucking lie. All they do is lie. They lie. Hey, my entire life I've been told about the scourge known as secondhand smoke, which kills 56,000 Americans, except for it kills nobody. Nobody. They lie about shit. It's dangerous. They lied all through COVID. They lie about danger all the time to get you to shut up and do what they want you to do.
And the insurrection, the MSNBC lady, when she saw that kid that had cancer, was like, well, I hope he doesn't grow up one day to have, to commit suicide like the cop that did that.
Yes.
And you're like, you don't even know why that's why that. You're just making up an entire story to fit your narrative.
They're fucking nuts. Oh, listen. They went from the guy got bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher to the guy was poisoned by bear spray to the guy fell asleep at his desk and died. And they got guys who killed themselves 6 months later who weren't even there.
Count 'em.
That's part of the tally. Shut the fuck up, you liars. We have Captain Dynamite.
Yes.
Dawson found
Daredevil.
Captain. How did you find it?
Daredevil blows himself up with dynamite, yielded it a Los Angeles Times
I
article
knew
from
I
a long
could
time
find
ago.
it.
70?
Then a new search for Captain Dynamite came up with this.
This is why you are where you are.
That's
you are
right.
not
That's
giving
really-
up.
I'm not giving up this.
Never. Tenacious,
this
they
quest.
call him.
That's right. Captain Dynamite, who I'm guessing is the guy wearing the captain's hat.
Yeah. He dragged out his own coffin.
And he's got a green outfit. How pissed is this guy's wife?
Every day just blows
It's the
itself
second
up.
base of a AAA game.
It's probably set it up. Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
That was worth it.
It was worth it.
You were.
Look at
He's
Captain
stumbling.
Dynamite stumbling around.
Wow.
I like the idea that Captain Dynamite wears a helmet, but not a full face helmet. It's like, come on, that's an extra $80.
Oh, I would wear that jacket, though, for sure. Oh, wow. He looks like beef jerky.
Did it hurt when it blew?
See, I'm a little bit crazy.
He can't hear anything.
You can't hear shit.
It hurts your ears when
Yeah, you think? Probably did that on purpose, not to hear his wife.
Captain is meeting the players. He's meeting the fans.
Doing some
It's Captain Hey,
Captain Dynamite.
It's so funny that you and Jason linked up because here's what, like you will not let go till we see Captain Dynamite. He's fight GSP and is getting punched in the face and starts laughing.
I didn't even know that happened.
His first UFC fight, GSP was beating the shit out of him, punching him, and he just starts
arguing with him.
He starts laughing, and then the announcer Rogan goes, "Oh, Mayhem has retard strength." Like,
really?
Yeah, on the broadcast, he says he has retard strength.
Well, that's worth a dive on the internet. All right.
Man, it was a simpler time.
What's our next story?
Next story. Look, let's just jump right into, since everyone's having a hard time. Virginia high school track and field star's attempt to get into first place during a race last week led to an opponent to hit her with a baton, causing head injuries. During the Virginia High School League Class 3 State Indoor Championships at Liberty University, 200-meter relay race took a violent turn. Brookville High School junior Kaylin Tucker was running her leg of the relay, and we have some video here. She was struck in the head by a baton by a competitor from Norcom High School. And really look at
Oh,
yeah,
She did.
bash. Run that back if you can't. Here we go. Yeah, if you didn't catch it there,
I mean, she still came in
overhand
third.
smash.
Yeah.
She said the lady who hit her claims the strike was accidental.
There's a clip of it somewhere, but I'm going to ask you. You'll find the clip of her talking.
You know what's sad is that I'm
actually-
happy this isn't about a trans racer. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's like,
that's the first thing I thought of when this happened. It was
Exactly.
like, girl won.
yeah, just blacks beating the shit out of each other. We're back, everybody. To a simpler time.
America.
The America our grandparents grew up in. All right, there's a couple things I'm going to ask you, Andrew, to look for. I liked this tweet that had her, and I liked a tweet yesterday, I think, of a woman who was, it's the 60th year of the Pettus Bridge crossing in Selma, Alabama.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, 60 years of civil rights stuff. And they interviewed a woman who was like 8 or 10 at the time who crossed the bridge, and she was talking about National Guardsmen and billy clubs and stuff like that. I like that tweet and this tweet, and we'll find it. Take your time, but I'll tell you why I liked it. I had a sad thought. You know, like the sad thoughts are like when you go to a ballpark and you buy a beer and it comes in a plastic bottle. And I would never buy a beer in a plastic bottle if I was sitting around at my house. But you have the plastic bottle because too many people threw the glass bottle out on the field. And then there's a part of you that has a feeling, and it's the same feeling like when you see the park benches and they got a bunch of speed bumps on them. It's like, yeah, too many hobos shooting up and they fall asleep. And we're trying to deter these people, and you see the freeway signs in LA and there's barbed wire around it, and you go, oh, sad.
Yeah.
You know, like sad that we didn't have to do this in the past. They give you a fucking beer stein in
Or like
the past.
CVS and everything's empty.
In a cage, everything's, you go CVS, and you're there and you're like, oh, I'm trying to buy aspirin, like press the button for the attendant, and you're like, oh, it's sad. And now we're going to have to take the aluminum batons used for the last 70 years in relay races and make them out of balsa wood because too many black chicks are beating the shit out of each other.
It's one.
Yeah, it was one beer bottle
She's an
that
outlier.
took out that manager in 1979.
What if it was an accident.
That's what she said.
Is
She
there
said,
any
I
chance?
know my intentions. I would never hit someone on purpose.
Is there any chance? Because she was in third place. It wasn't like she was going to win.
If there's ever an excuse for punching a black chick in the back of the head, it's during a relay. It's not like you're at a club. You know, your arms are flopping, but she did.
But wouldn't this be a better sport anyway?
I would watch it. I would tend to watch it.
For sure. We're watching now.
I will tell you this. There's some people, especially people that have a physical nature, where they might do something and have no recollection of that act. Yeah. Like, they go, I'm not the type of person. You're not, but in that millisecond, you were. You know what I mean?
It's true.
There's every woman I know says she's not violent, but step on her foot in the kitchen, watch her hand come sailing out in your chest.
Yeah.
It's a reaction.
My wife threw a sandwich at me one time.
Yeah.
And then texted me, did you eat the sandwich I threw at your head?
What kind of sandwich was it?
Turkey sandwich. It's pretty good, actually. Of course I ate it.
I'll tell you, when you watch these tweets, we'll watch the chick who was running in the relay first. She's given an interview.
I kind of believe her. I don't know why.
Well, it's kind of, you know what it is? It's the Mike Tyson thing. Like, she was fouling her during the thing, and she just reacted.
I'm telling you, when I did Dancing with the Stars, and I was done, my first dance, they're like, you called Carrie Ananami a bitch. And I walked off stage, and I went, no, I didn't.
I think I saw
and
that.
they go, you called her a bitch. And I was like, no. I didn't. Why would I say? I didn't say that. And then I watched the tape, and she was like, "I give Adam a 2," and I go, "Bitch," you know what I mean? It's like I said it. And I'm pretty tuned up, and
Don't you have good footwork?
It was all right. The point is, I did something, and I said I did not do it, and I did do it, and I saw it on tape. So she can people are capable of a lot,
right?
So we'll show, but let's listen to her. Just listen to it.
The tears got me.
I'm just a person by myself. Nobody's going to believe me because I can admit from the video it does look purposeful, but I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose. I'm just a person by myself. Nobody's going to believe me because
I'm a sucker. I believe her.
From the video.
No, dude, in competition, like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah. You're not rubbing, you're not racing.
Yeah, exactly. And she was knocking up against, if you notice early in the video, they were kind of bumping during the pass, and she just lost her temper.
Like when you gave your opponent a noogie during a fight?
Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Like you knew you were going to give him a noogie?
Look, I was showcasing that this guy doesn't want to fight. He just wants to hug me. So I gave him a little noogie.
You did?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, now do we
the
have
fans understood? They knew what I was doing.
Do we have the 60-something-year-old woman who marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge? Who was probably a Klansman that built that bridge in like 1951.
Yeah,
I will play her, and then I'll circle back.
What am I watching?
Well, we're not watching whatever I asked for, I guess, is what we're saying.
That could have been 6 years ago.
That's a 68-year-old woman talking about crossing the bridge with...
they're crossing the bridge again.
Well, it's a 68-year-old woman talking about crossing the bridge and cops and billy clubs and stuff that I like to tweet. But whether it's the slide for life or the crossing of the bridge, if it doesn't resemble what I said at all, then it's probably not what I was asking for.
You think he's doing this on purpose? Because it's kind of funny.
It is funny. It is funny, but we'll find that. But again, it'll be whether it's human stick of dynamite or slide for life. It won't involve a ladder and 5 guys. It'll be as described.
Dynamite, I'll have you know.
Captain Dynamite. The human stick of dynamite needs a publicist because he is nowhere to be found on the internet. And yet, here's Captain Dynamite,
just taking all the glory.
All I know was ripping off the human stick of dynamite.
He was. It's like Gallagher's brother.
Yes! Ripping off the genius of the pioneer.
Well, I know they have this back there. Beloved Simpsons-inspired treehouse falls to bureaucratic bulldozers. Here's a story to make you shake your head. The cherished Simpsons-inspired treehouse, crafted by former Simpsons producer Rick Polizzi, has been demolished. We've been following it. The whimsical structure has been a Sherman Oaks neighborhood favorite, bringing joys to countless families.
In person.
Saw it in person before it died.
I saw it. I was like,
now the 7-year battle with the city officials is over.
Why can't he have it?
Because
can he have it? Well, he lives in Los Angeles. He didn't ask permission to build it.
I mean, seriously? It's his backyard, no?
It's been
he didn't pull a
24
permit.
years ago. He didn't have a permit for it. And here in California, that's a death sentence. Yeah, they tore down the tree house, and it's over with.
Who snitched on him?
The neighbor was mad that people were coming, and it was getting a lot of attention. And some one Karen ruins the whole deal.
God.
Yep.
Was it Smithers?
Yeah.
There's a couple things. I got a like tweet of this guy talking while they're tearing it down. But I also got that other Edmund Pettus bridge lady, 68 with the brooch, who's talking. And there's a whole reason why I'm weaving this elaborate tapestry.
We see.
And you'll see it. But you're gonna have to find that vid of her first, and then
wait, are you gonna put everything together?
I'm gonna tie it all together.
The dynamite too, or no?
Let's not get over our skis, Adam. But I got a lot of tying in to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This lady. Now, somebody tweeted to me yesterday, and I liked it. And it's a woman. It was a woman of color with a big brooch, who's 70, who's talking about walking across the bridge. All right. But also, this guy is out filming while, by the way, Mexicans are taking down his treehouse. Now, they're just backing out all the screws. The most dangerous thing you could do at this point with this treehouse is try to demolish it. Like, these guys are standing out there, reaching over their head, taking a floor down above me. Like, if you want to get someone hurt, tell them to take this treehouse down.
Yeah.
It's ironic that LA just burned to the ground, and there's thousands of structures, and this is their focus. Yeah. Their focus is this taxpayer and his tree house. Number one, and by the way, they will fuck your shit up because they have endless amounts of time and endless amounts of money to fight you. You have to pay a lawyer billable hours. You got to go find some jack off in Reseda and give him $400 an hour to represent you fighting the city, which is going to cost you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
$50,000, yeah.
$50,000, and now he's paying to take it down.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, if you're in fact homeless and you like to build a 2-story plywood with shelter with visqueen on city property, by the way, on a sidewalk or the LA River, no problemo.
Yeah,
Sid's got no thoughts about you. You who is a junkie who does not pay taxes, you may build as much shit as you want along the highways and the byways here in Southern California. But you who work for The Simpsons and pays your property taxes and has paid in millions of tax dollars are not allowed to build something at your own expense that the kids in the neighborhood enjoy.
And all the joy he's brought to people from The Simpsons over the years.
Yes.
Yes.
So there is that vid, which exists, and then there's also the Edmund Pettus one as well. And I know it exists because people just send them to me, and I like them. So we could probably find
it's crazy.
One of those.
That's hurting nobody. It's not hurting anybody. It's just
we've left the realm of logic a long time ago. All right, one of those videos has to exist, so just put it on the thing and play it. Or put it on my screen.
Lizzie, we are out here today because the treehouse that I built with a carpenter friend 24 years ago
and he's gay.
Is coming down. The city has started a criminal trial on it, and that trial
Not
is
if you're
on
homeless.
Wednesday, and the city is going to make me pay for court costs, and it's just kind of being a bully. And so I'm taking it down. We're paying for it to get taken down, so they dismiss the charges. I do not want to go to court on Wednesday, so that's why this is all coming down.
Yeah. All right, pause it. Good news, Nashville. Your next resident is coming from Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
Because people get fucking tired of this shit. They get tired of being treated like a criminal when they're a taxpayer, and they turn the other way and look the other way at the actual criminals.
But I feel like John Lovitz could play him in the movie.
Sure.
Lovitz could. He'd be like, they took the treehouse down. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, Lovitz could play him. He probably worked with Lovitz doing some VO shit for The Simpsons, and they definitely. Some writer's assistant said, we got to get a picture.
Lovitz is one of the funniest people I've ever.
I love that guy.
So funny.
All right, now there's only one liked video left to find. And you can put whatever information you have on my screen in front of me. But that's the Edmund Pettis, middle-aged, 65-year-old woman who was walking and being beaten. It's weird. Oh, well, I know you're 5 days into my liked tweets, but this is from yesterday, so it's possible. Maybe. Is it possible I didn't like it? Dawson, you ever see this vid?
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe you clicked it twice.
Yeah, maybe I clicked it twice. Maybe I screwed that. If I would have liked it, it was from yesterday. If not from yesterday, then it means I missed it. Or I looked at it, but I didn't like it. But it was from Fox News yesterday. Dawson, you find it. Well, 68-year-old woman, Edmund Pettis, saying she was there. And then I'll tie it all together. We'll find it.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, in the meantime, there's a heated controversy unfolding in San Francisco, where local spa's decision to implement a phallus-free policy has ignited passionate discussions about inclusivity, women's rights, and the boundaries of gender identity.
This is called bitten by your own snake. They invent this shit, and then at some point, it all comes for them.
Yeah, but it's a Russian spa, though, so that's why she's not having it.
Yeah, the spa in question, known for women's-only spaces, have recently come under fire for enforcing a policy that excludes individuals with male genitalia regardless of their gender identity. This move has been both lauded and criticized, reflecting the complex and often contentious nature of gender politics today.
Yeah.
In a statement, the representative from the spa explained, our priority is to provide a comfortable and safe environment for all our clients. This policy is in place to respect the privacy and comfort of our patrons. However, this policy has sparked protests from transgender rights activists who argue it discriminates against transgender women. One activist stated, policy like this invalidate our identities and perpetuate exclusion. Yeah. Conversely, some women's rights advocates support the spa's stance, asserting that women have the right to single-sex spaces free from male anatomy.
Yeah. First off, we've had these policies since Roman days. Like, why in the last 10 minutes did we decide the ladies' locker room and the men's locker room was broken? It was so clear-cut, so defined, so easy. What the fuck happened in the last 20 minutes?
But you get people, though, from Russia. They're not, like people from other countries that come
they
over
don't
here.
Get this shit.
They're like, no, this is for women and this is for men. Like, it's just like that. If it was owned by some type of, I don't know, younger Gen Z, like they might say, you know what, this is inclusive to everyone. But it's like certain people are just like, nope, sorry, women, men, out. You know?
Certain countries are sane. and they're saner than we are.
Yeah. It's like, going through a thing. We always overcorrect. That's what it is. That we feel bad that trans people got beat up in the bathroom. But like now we're like, dude, come on.
Remember that video of that black woman when the guy went into the girls' bathroom and it had a dick, obviously.
Yes.
And
spa.
And that black woman was like, "Are you?" and went crazy. Like, like you can't convince a black woman that's okay.
Yeah,
it's
especially not a sassy
the term
one.
is called from the mouth of babes, but it should be from the mouth of blacks because the mouth they just say what it is. That dude's got a dick. What's he doing? And all the Karens are like, well, you can't say what he. What are you talking about? His cock swinging around. Like they literally just go, "Here's what's happening. I'm black. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. I'm not going to pretend I'm in your weird fucking cult.
I was with my daughter and her little friend who's black and their mom, and some girl scratched my daughter. It was like those big Lego blocks. And the woman comes over with me and goes, if your daughter doesn't apologize, I'm going to bop you on the head with a Lego block.
Wow. And from the mouth of blacks?
Yeah, and the woman, this is last week. Woman apologized. Like, that was it.
That was it.
All right. Do we have that catalytic converter story?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I want to get that. All right. From the mouth of blacks. Let's see. Yesterday, news, Dawson. It's on Fox.
I'm going through Fox News. I'm going through all of their articles, and
but not an article, right?
I'm going through all of their stories that they have videos on.
Okay, the videos. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but if you say articles, I think it's an article.
I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing it yet.
Not that story of the 60th year, huh? Of the Edmund Pettus thing?
I know, and as I search for those terms, Bloody Sunday, Edmund Pettus, the stories that are the first ones that are coming up are from 2015.
Oh.
They don't have any stories on the search from 2025.
Oh, we'll do a 60th anniversary.
I feel like I'm at a strip club right now, and he's going to say, now dancing on
the main stage.
Do 60th anniversary. That'll narrow it down, because that can't be 10 years ago.
No.
All right, sorry. Go
In
ahead.
the meantime, 2 murder suspects who allegedly killed a Good Samaritan in Los Angeles County while he was attempting to stop them from stealing his neighbor's catalytic converter were in the country illegally and have lengthy criminal records.
Yeah, so we're a sanctuary city.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of people that aren't supposed to be here, and we won't deport them, and also we won't lock them up. These guys have been arrested like 13, 14, 15 times.
Robin Alice, a Guatemalan national, has been arrested at least 15 times in the last few years in the county, predominantly on gun charges, grand theft, burglary, drug charges.
Well, listen,
it's
in
amazing.
the name of equity, first off, I thought you guys hated guns. Don't you hate guns?
Yeah,
well, then what about guys with guns who get arrested? Don't you want them incarcerated? Could you imagine if you were the wife or the kids of this guy who, when you walk outside because you hear a guy fire up a Sawzall 3:30 in the morning and wants to know what's going on, just gets shot dead, and the people that shot him dead have been arrested 15 times and aren't supposed to be in this fucking country in the first place, but because it's a sanctuary city, we'll never do anything with them except for push them back on the streets. And by the way, then you people start getting this Tom Homan's going to round up school-age kids and
Selena
put them in a
Gomez
wagon.
crying.
And Selena Gomez, any tears for the guy who got shot by these two, you fucking bitch?
Yeah,
Jesus
I think
Christ.
the word sanctuary, it invokes the fact that there are a lot of like people who, they illegally cross, but now live like a good life, and
there's
that's
some
who we
of
want to give
those
sanctuary
people.
to. But then these guys have been busted, multiple grand theft arrests, mostly for stealing catalytic converters. He's already done this. Past charges for DUIs, conspiracy, felon, possession of gun, possession of burglary tools, possession of meth, possession of stolen property, and felony hit and run during a police pursuit.
These guys are bad.
This guy's a bad guy, and we knew he's a bad guy. He was doing bad stuff, never got his stuff together, and never got deported. So now he killed, allegedly these 2 guys killed Good Samaritan. It's a damn shame.
All right, there is a vid I know we have. Nithya Raman, who's the city councilman, because we've looked at this dingbat's video a few times. She's a councilwoman. She went to Harvard, everybody. She went to Harvard.
Yeah.
She went to Harvard, and she has a big swath, maybe where you live. I read that her place was from like Silver Lake to Reseda. And this person has thoughts about catalytic converters. By the way, these are the second guy killed. There was that actor who was bartending in downtown, and he came out, and someone was stealing catalytic converters, and he got shot dead. So at a certain point, people are dying because of this catalytic converter problem that we're having. Yeah, Johnny Wachter, who was an actor who walked out after his bartending at 2 in the morning, and he got shot dead. So people are dying now because people are stealing catalytic converters, but let's see.
All the time, because my ring, just like, you know how you have like that ring app? All the people, too, talk about how they got their catalytic converter.
Yeah. All right, but Nithya Ram's got a solution to it. Not take illegals and lock them up who are doing this repeatedly. That wouldn't be the way to do it. She's got another angle on it. Here it is.
In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, the Prius, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove.
Oh, God.
It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
That is the dumbest argument.
She went to
sexy
Harvard.
Priuses were asking for it wearing those tight leggings.
Mean, they act like as if they didn't have meth, gun, other charges before that. Like as if they even made a solution to that, they wouldn't go on to the next crime that they can commit.
Yeah.
By the way, so easy to be stolen, it's welded into the middle of the car.
Well, you never jacked up the Prius and got up under there with the skill saw.
It's not a skill saw, but I know what you're saying. Although skill probably makes a bayonet saw, which you're thinking about. Yeah, you just need a floor jack and a acetylene cutting rig and two guys, and it pops right out.
Yeah.
Like anytime you have to sawzall something out, it's not so easily to be stolen.
But the problem is Toyota, not the person doing it. It's Toyota's the problem. If it wasn't for Toyota, this guy would be alive. It's like, come on.
Can you believe?
Gymnastics.
This fucking dope went to Harvard.
I know.
But by the way, what are they teaching in Harvard? Number one. And then number two, her plan is to blame Toyota for a component that is welded into the center bottom of the car. That's her plan.
I mean, I feel like that's an argument that a lawyer makes when he knows there's like 19 ways that the person committed murder,
Your Honor,
and you're just trying to throw.
So easy to steal that. How can you expect them not to steal that?
Well, look, if this bitch was wearing her backpack and walking down the street, it's real easy to knock her over and take her backpack. It's easy. You don't need a sawzall. You don't need a floor jack. So would that be okay? And then is it your fault for wearing your backpack over your shoulder while walking? Like, stealing Nithya Raman's backpack would be super easy. Just come up behind her, smack her in the back of the head with that baton that chick used in the relay, and then just take her backpack.
Yeah, just run right across.
That would be her fault for wearing the backpack outside. Super easy to take. And by the way, she said the value of a MacBook Pro, that could be in the backpack. So what are you flaunting it for, bitch? It's your fault.
I mean, I like to think that people, like the guys that are for, transgenders in women's sports are people that just never played a contact sport. So they just have no... So then I go, okay, this person just never did that. That's why they're thinking that. But this person has lived. So either she has been prep school her whole life, Harvard, and then now lives in this gated community.
Outside,
Or how else do you find...
No idea. I don't know how you get to the mental gymnastics it takes to go, hey, it's the Prius's fault for getting stolen.
Okay, well, here's what I'm saying. I want to hear her one more time. That poor Dawson can't find that clip.
Damn.
I'll find it right after the show, but I want to hear her one more time. Okay, now we got two dead people.
Yeah.
Because people are stealing these things, at least. So maybe okay, I'll have it your way. It's Toyota's fault. I don't think Toyota's budging on this one. I think they're just making their cars and sending them here. If they're sending them to Sodom and Gomorrah, they're not responsible for that.
Yeah. Well, Kia, and they had a similar thing because it's super easy just to jimmy it with the,
Go online and steal the car.
Exactly.
You're still dealing with a problem of thieves.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, here it is. Super easy. One more time.
In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, the Prius.
She's a socialist, by the way, so she blames Toyota.
The Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
I mean, the guy next to her is just dead inside. He's just sitting there.
I've said many times, I started with Kamala Harris, but they need to have, like, their pages or aides have a squirt gun. And so if I start rambling on something retarded, just fucking hit me. Like when the cat jumps on the sofa, just, you know what I mean? Just, you know what? Just get me moving on to something that makes sense, because I sound like an insane, rambling, retarded person at this point.
Super soaker.
Well, but usually you see these people make these arguments on the internet, and you've never seen them in real life.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's just like they have an avatar or something.
She got voted in, people. They voted her in. They voted this destructive socialist. And by the way, do you want to know why LA's a piece of shit? Her and her friends.
Well, it's because the ballots. You get the ballots, and there's like 30 people, and then they give you 3 things they're for. Yeah. And so you don't really know who you're voting for.
Well, here's what I yell every time when I talk about this dumb shit over here. She's not in charge of catalytic converter response. She's making she's calling all the shots. She was calling COVID shots 5 years ago, right? Wow. Her and her dumb bitch friends are calling COVID shots. Yeah. So we're fucked on every policy because she's taking this insane 10-cent socialist head of hers and directing it toward... But what do you think? Yeah. Where do you think she comes down on the treehouse? She wants the treehouse down. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. She's not taking her worm-riddled, retarded brain and only doing catalytic converter math. Yeah. She's taking this horrible sense of logic everywhere.
And put Captain Dynamite out of a job.
Oh, man.
But then you see people that are like gays for Palestine, and you're like, okay, that's essentially, this is who they voted for.
This is what they voted for. All right. I'll wrap up my 2 clips tomorrow. We'll find these things. I'll find them as soon as we get off the air. Not sure why. I don't know how the internet works. But look, we found Captain Dynamite.
So we'll take that win.
It's a Pyrrhic victory, really.
Yeah, but I feel I'm taking partial credit for putting the word daredevil.
Hey, a win's a win.
In there. All right, listen, yeah, that's right. The other guy didn't make weight. That's all right. You still keep your strap, Dawson. All right, Adam, let me give you a plug. Stand Up. We're calling it a special, but it's an album.
Yeah, but I'm leaving on Thursday. I'm doing a tour with Russell Peters.
Oh, all around the world.
All around the world. So we're going to Australia. We're going to China, Japan, Singapore.
So if you're out that way,
yeah,
swing on by.
So I'll be at the Sparks Arena in Auckland, New Zealand next week, and then Sydney, Australia at the Kudos Bank Arena, South Brisbane, Australia, John Cain Arena, Melbourne, Australia, Perth, Australia after that, Hong Kong, Thailand, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia. So I'll be all those places with Russell.
I'm going to be in Phoenix.
And then I'm also writing for Gutfeld now, too.
Oh, you are?
Which is nice. Yeah,
Love Gutfeld.
Yeah.
I'll be in Phoenix this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Desert Ridge Improv. Probably going to sell out, but come by, say hi, see how that goes. Adam Hunter, this was fun. Come back.
Anytime. I hear great things about your show, by the way.
Anytime.
About your live show.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well, tell me off the air.
For real.
Until next time, Adam, for Adam Hunter and Mayhem saying mahalo.